I had never really drank craft beer. And I was at a bar in Ohio, and I said, hey, do you guys have Corona? And he looks over at me, he's standing right next to me, he goes, Nate, do you even know what a fucking hop is?
It's the backpacking beer adventure. Let's get hopping.
So how do you get like out to Mill 95? Do you literally hitchhike on the way out, or how does that work for?
Yeah, we're hitchhiking there. That one's gonna be kind of strange because it's not like a big target like Boise. It's like specifically it's one location that no one will be going to. So that last like 10 miles or 15 miles is gonna be interesting, but we'll see.
It's such a similarity to DMT, and it's because there's this huge flood, and so we're actually just getting high on DMT by taking these other.
People are so nice, so I got a feeling like we'll get to the exit and we'll get a ride from someone, and someone will be like, oh, I can go 5 miles out of my way and
That's cool.
take you there. That kind of thing happens a lot. So
That's really awesome.
So you guys grow all your own hops?
We don't grow any hops.
You don't grow any hops?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, we buy that from all of our growers.
Gotcha.
My name's DJ Tolmie. I'm the operations manager here at Mill 95. Mill 95 is actually a processor located here in southwest Idaho. We're the only processor of hops in this state. Traditionally, every hop has left the state of Idaho to go to mostly Yakima, Washington to be processed. Craft beer has really driven the market the last decade or so. Idaho has more than quadrupled their acreage here in Idaho since about 2007. And recently we've become the second largest hop producer in the United States. Kind of drove demand to have a processing facility here, and so that's what we've done. Right. So yeah, welcome to Mill 95. We have 40,000 square feet of cold storage, which is the building we're standing in front of right now. We do a lot of quality checks, moisture, temperature, off type, make sure they are what they're supposed to be. Trucks pull in here and we actually offload all the bales. We string out all the bales. Also, we pull sampling for the USDA or the ISDA. They check leaf, stem, and seed. And then we also pull what's called brewer's cuts, the cuts that the brewers can actually select certain lots from upon the selection during harvest. Once they've been accepted, we then enter them all into our SAP system. We label them, scan them in, and bring them into our cold storages. You can see we've got some shipments stacked and ready to go. This is what the hops look like when they come to us on our door. The brewers will actually show up here and they can kind of feel them, smell them, talk about what they're getting out of it.
Can any brewer come and make an appointment with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just make an appointment, show up, and we'll take care of you for sure. These are our finished goods racking here, pelleted product, finished product. They sit here in our warehouse until they're ordered, and then we pick them and ship them out.
And have you been here since the beginning?
Yeah, I was actually part of the inception of this place. So the whole idea of this actually kind of started on a napkin, believe it or not. I was drinking beers with friends, of course.
As you do.
I started kind of writing name ideas or logo ideas on a napkin, and that's kind of how it started. From there, it got real. We actually had to get real, hire some engineers and some design groups, but yeah, I was here from inception. We'll handle, 8, 9, 10, 11 million pounds. Last year, Idaho had about 17 million pounds total. So we're over half of what we handle through this facility here.
That's incredible.
It's a busy, busy time of the year.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So this is our pelletizing facility, obviously. Piece of equipment here is called a bell breaker. So it breaks them apart, and then we air vein them from the bell breaker up through these tubes into our hammer mills. And then once they travel through our hammer mills, that's when the pulverization of the cones happens. So this is really kind of the dirtiest part of the whole line, but it also kind of smells the best too.
Yeah.
These are our hammer mills here. Obviously they just have these swing blades, diamond carbide tipped swing blades. There are screens that go inside of here. Okay. And then the size of the penetrations in the screens kind of helps determine the size of the grind once they go through, which ultimately helps us determine our pellet density later when it goes through the pelletizer.
Will that be different hop to hop?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it changes from variety to variety, and it can even change within the same variety depending on the profile of the hop.
That must have taken a lot of time to dial in.
There's a lot of art involved in this as well as science. Yeah, it's a lot. It's really high touch. You really got to pay attention. Our quality checks are pretty intense. We're checking them all the time and making adjustments as needed. So we run these hammer mills at certain speeds for certain varieties, and like I said, that can even change within the same varieties. And then our screen sizes change as well to help us give it that certain grind that we want. These are the screens that we put in the hammer mills. Obviously, you can see we have several different sets, several different sizes. Smaller penetrations, generally it's a smaller grind, which can give you a little more dense pellet. Larger penetrations give you a chunkier grind, which can lighten up that spec a little bit. We aerate, again, with cool air up through our cyclone that then fall down into our horizontal ribbon blend tanks. We have 2 tanks. Each one has a capacity of about 4,000 pounds. Fill a tank, and then we start to pull from it, and we fill the other tank. So you can kind of think of it as a teeter-totter. They are then dropped out the bottom into what's called a continuous cup elevator. That cup elevator then runs up to the 3rd story, and then they fall through our pellet mill and make pellets. So that's where we'll go next. So this is our pelletizer. They flow through this auger here, which is variable speed. We also have a liquid nitrogen feed. We're constantly monitoring temperature. Every 50th foil bag is pulled. We check the seals, make sure there's not a leak, check the oxygen content, check the fines, we check the bulk density. If all is well, we keep running. If something needs to be changed a little bit, we can make changes on the fly.
Yeah, that's cool. You're spending so much time with attention to detail, and clearly brewers are into it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what's required. So they fall through, they go to our what's called a cooler.
Yeah.
And then from the cooler, they go up to packaging. So I can take you down and show you packaging.
So great, you've been able to make a name for yourself so quickly. From a napkin to this, man.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very challenging, but it's been a lot of fun. We have a great team here. There's no way we could do this without the team that we have here. We aim for a 97% or better capture rate from bale to pellet. We try to be as efficient as we can. It's not cheap stuff, so. This is the only thing that's not sourced here in America. This is Concetti. It's actually out of Italy. It's a 1 of 1. It's pretty unique. It's mylar here on the spool you can think of as one really long bag, and the machine's job is to cut the bag at the desired length, whether we're doing 11 pounders or 22 pounders. This is the material we're using. It's a laminated, really thin tin foil, I guess is what you could say. Military spec, food grade spec. Tin foil, and this is actually really expensive. This is 65 cents for one bag. So this is where we have our safety meetings.
Yeah.
And have a few beers, whatever, after work.
Nice.
And hang out and talk hops. So
the chill spot, Mother Earth, nice.
Yep.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's Mill 95, guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by.
Never seen a gigantic hop production spot like this. Really impressive. Just the care they put into it every step of the way. It's just really impressive what goes into beer, how special it is. And now we got to hitchhike to Bend. It's about 4 or 5 hours away driving. I'm gonna take a right here at the hop field, and we'll be on our way. More beer, more good times. Let's do it. We're in Bend, Oregon. Got here yesterday. Found a cool bar to just chill and drink some cheap beers at, and then I'd found a place to camp. You know, we're traveling with tents and backpacks, and Nick wasn't having it. He's like, I'm gonna get a hotel room, and I think he's starting to panic a little bit. I gotta manage this a little bit. Super expensive hotel right downtown. He booked 2 nights. I'm like, dude, anything can happen in a day. But whatever, we're there. So slept good last night, got a shower this morning. Nick was feeling a little tired, I could tell. So just took off, and I decided, maybe I'll go to like 10 breweries today. So that's what I'm doing. I'm three deep. Maybe I'll meet up with Nick later. He's doing his thing. He's got 2 nights booked at the hotel. Fucking hell, the amount of money is burning. It's incredible. Keep this day going. More beer. All right, fancy hotel room. Good morning, or getting on afternoon. Went to 8 breweries yesterday altogether in Bend. Really got after it. Don't even think I got most of it on film, but I had a fun time. About to go film at Bevel. We got breweries lined up for tomorrow, the next day. and on and on and on, going up to Yakima next. But I'm excited to check out this Bevel spot. It's one of the few breweries in Bend I have not been to. Happy days, let's go to Bevel. Thanks for having us.
Kenny, it's good to have you here, man.
Yeah. This place is awesome. This mural is sick. Your stories so far you've been telling me, very cool.
It has been a long ride to start Bevel Craft Brewing. I think to introduce myself, I'm Nate Doss. I'm the owner and head brewer here at Bevel Craft Brewing.
Heck yeah. Are there other brewers, or does it all land on you?
It started with just me. Just recently we hired an assistant brewer. He was actually our very first employee, Mitch. He came in as a bartender. He had a lot of experience at a brewery in California, and he didn't really want to get back in the brewery, but as these last 2 years have gone on, he started to help me a little bit, and he came in on a little bit more of a semi-permanent basis, and just about 2 weeks ago we made him permanent assistant brewer here at Bevel. So now I've got somebody to brew with, but for 2 years it was basically me by myself doing every aspect of the entire job.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's go check it out. Let's do it.
Cool.
Quickly walk through our tap room. You can see our disc golf roots. Our pendant over our ordering area is a disc golf basket turned upside down. When I installed it, I actually drilled the hole in the wrong spot. So I decided to glue a disc so it's parked. That disc is parked. Yeah. So let's go take a look at the brewery. So here we have our 7-barrel brew house. For those that don't know, I'm sure you're very familiar. 7 barrels is 31 gallons. We like it small like this. We make 7 barrels at a time. Deschutes makes 200 barrels at a time. They've brewed more beer in one tank than we've brewed in our entire lifetime here at Bevel Craft Brewing. And it's been about 2.5 years. The only automation we have is essentially a temperature controller for our hot liquor tank where we keep our hot water, but everything else is manual valves up and down. We don't have a grain mill here, so we get all of our grain pre-milled, and we cut the bags in by hand through the manway at the top of the mash tun.
It's good to go right away.
Good to go. We sell 100% of our beer right here at our taproom location. So this is our brew house. Obviously, this is where the magic happens. You know, a brew day is one day, but really where the magic happens is over here on our fermentation side.
I gotta say, this is pretty clean for a brewery.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty sharp in here.
I take a lot of pride in keeping the brewery very, very clean. We have a squeegee right over here. It's probably the most used tool in the entire brewery. We're constantly squeegeeing the floor, keep them nice and dry. And when you got a brewery that's so close to the tasting room, on brew days we're working in here till 1:30, 2:30 in the afternoon. We want to make sure to keep the smells, the moisture, the heat down, especially in the summer.
I like that smell sometimes, so I can tell like, oh, they're mashing in.
Yeah, the brewing's happening, exactly. We do have our fermentation vessels here. We have 3 of them. This tank is named Morrison. This tank right here, which we just emptied yesterday, is named Leroy. And this tank right here is named Steady Ed, people that were very influential in our lives. And without these 3 people, we would not be here. We'll start with Morrison here. Fred Morrison was the inventor of the Frisbee. Wow. Okay, so his son, I believe, worked for the Frisbee Pie Company, and the very first Frisbee was a Frisbee pie tin turned upside down. The guys who were delivering pies would play catch with them. Fred said, well, let's turn that from a pie pan into a plastic toy and we'll sell it. And that's where the Frisbee was invented. Steady Ed is Steady Ed Hedrick. And Steady Ed Hedrick was an inventor, started inventing in the mid-70s, worked for Wham-O, who owned the Frisbee patent and the name. There was Frisbee golf happening, but it was mostly guys throwing Frisbees and they were hitting trees and signs and things. He said, well, we need to invent a way to say it's in. And he invented the disc golf basket. And last but not least, Leroy. And Leroy is Leroy Jenkins, which is my wife, Valerie Jenkins' father. He passed away a few years ago from brain cancer, but Leroy was the passionate home brewer in the family. And when Valerie and I started dating, I had never really drank craft beer. I'd always drank tequila. I was from California, and tequila and Corona was my favorite sort of combination of libations. And I was at a bar in Ohio, which is where they're from. And I said, hey, do you guys have Corona? And he looks over at me, he's standing right next to me, he goes, Nate, do you even know what a fucking hop is? And I go, a hop? What the fuck's a hop? And he goes, hold on. Orders me a Dogfish Head 90-minute IPA.
All right.
Slides it in front of me. It's a 9% beer for $5 or whatever it was. And I said, $5? That's pretty good. Ohio to California pricing, right? Yeah. Drank it, loved it, and ever since then I've always loved craft beer. And for the first 7 years of my brewing adventures, from home brewing all the way through, me and Leroy did it together. And it really means a lot, and he'll always be with us. We also have a painting of him in the tap room as well. Without these three guys, none of us would be standing here right now. Most of our beers are hop forward. We have a 3-vessel system, a mash tun, a boil kettle, and a whirlpool. Whirlpool is super important in the types of beers we make, being that we like to add a lot of hops late in the process, get all those flavors and not so much bitterness. We've made a lot of different types of beers. We heavy, imperial stouts, barley wines, but we all sort of try to sneak those hops in there when we can,
I like it, you might as well.
But sometimes with the hops, and with those bigger beers, the grains really take over, you know?
Do you even know what a hop is?
Exactly. That should be on a t-shirt. Yeah. I swear. So don't steal that from me, everybody out there. Do you even know what an effing hop is?
Yeah, perfect.
We love what we do. We love making beer. And we try to make every day a fun time. Of course, brewing beer and doing any job can be difficult sometimes when things go a little bad, but we try to do it with a smile on our face.
Heck yeah.
I'll show you one final thing. It's where we keep all of our beer. It's our cooler. It's not that impressive, but it's right here, right close to the tap room. This is just where we keep all of our beer. That's a 15-barrel bright tank. These are 7-barrel bright tanks. They're all connected directly to the drafts. They go through the wall, through the ceiling, come down behind the bar, and
perfect.
This mural that we have here was painted while we were still putting the brewery together. The grains coming into our mash tun, hits our boil kettle, hits our whirlpool, goes through, hits our heat exchanger, hits our fermentation vessels, and then it comes up and over, hits our bright tanks, and then it hits our draft system. And it's kind of funny because when she was asking us, okay, what kind of glasses? We hadn't really decided, but we told her these ones, they were the ones we had. So there's a big sign, beer.
Beer.
It's right there. Let's go get some.
All right, well, thanks for pouring the beers, and love these Frisbees.
Yeah, man, yep. We even made a commercial where we actually threw one from the bar out to here.
With the beers in it?
That's what the commercial made you think. But let's start you out with our lightest beer. It's our Fun Day Session IPA, because every day with an IPA is a fun day. That's the way we think of it.
I like that. There's a little maltiness too. Like you say, you want to keep the balance. Goes down easy.
Yep.
Hops are singing to me.
Amarillo and Comet in our whirlpool. And then we use Amarillo and Eldorado in the dry hopping phase. So
Amarillo is my favorite hop, so that's probably why
there you go.
talking to me a little bit.
Yeah, I love Amarillo. Simcoe is probably our most utilized hop. We use Simcoe as a sort of a good blending hop, a base hop for a lot of the other beers. So as a home brewer, I was always trying to brew a low alcohol, full-bodied IPA that somebody drank it and they weren't going, oh, this is a session IPA. Right. You know, that wanted them to think it was an IPA, but not get that weight of a 7.2 or 7% IPA.
Something you can have a 6-pack of while you're playing disc golf.
Exactly.
In the sun.
Or out on a hike or on the river or whatever, but for sure. So number 2 is our Hop Tour series, single hop series of IPAs. This one is Nectaron, which is a brand new hop out of New Zealand. People seemingly loving it. And we've sold this one very fast. You can see nice and clear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of got almost a little bit of a lemony melon kind of vibe to it.
Definitely a lot of melon in there. This beer has 80 pounds of oats in it, okay? Really? Dead clear, hold it up. Yeah. Dead clear, okay. When I first wrote it was gonna be our hazy IPA. And because you're opening a brewery, you think, okay, gotta have a hazy, right? So I brewed the first one and it was gonna be a single hop hazy made with all mosaic. Made it, brewed it, went through the system, put it in the tank, carved it up, put it on draft, it came out dead clear. I looked at Justin and Val and said, well, it can't be our hazy. We've done Simcoe, Amarillo, Mandarina, Bavaria, a bunch of experimental hops that don't have names, just HBC 821, Sabro, Brew 1. We've done all kinds of different hops. I talk to the guys in Yakima or my hop providers and they say, hey man, I got this. I go, send me 22 pounds because it takes, hops of the professional grade come in 22-pound bags, pellets do, and I wrote this recipe to be exactly 22 pounds. So 10 pounds in the whirlpool, 12 pounds in the dry hop, 22 pounds. And that's what how that beer's.
I like it. I like that it's exactly like a sack of hops.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is, and makes it easy when I'm ordering it. I say, send me 22. And now I've kind of made it a regular thing to say, send me 44, because typically people like these hops. Some of them are very rare, right? I can't get any more Nectaron now, so I should have bought 44. But that's all right, it'll be one for the record books. So next on the list is our First Run IPA. This is the beer that we've made the most of here at Bevel, but also the one that I made the most of as a home brewer. I just always wanted to try to make a well-balanced West Coast style IPA. When I started home brewing, which was in 2012, the IPAs had a lot of caramel malts in it. As we've gone through the years, caramel malts have fallen by the wayside. To get rid of that sort of cloyingly sweetness that you have to bring a lot of bitterness to the table to balance, we brought in roasted malts like Munich and Vienna, a little bit of two-row, a little bit of Carapils for body, and Simcoe and Amarillo. It's about as basic as you get, but people seem to love it. And
Yep, that is delicious.
next beer on the list is our Iron Leaf Double IPA. Citra, Cashmere, Comet. It's one of our most popular beers that we make here. Being that it is a double IPA in the summertime, people seem to really like it because it's big and bright and floral, not too high on alcohol, 8.2.
Yeah, it's still crisp and it's got a little more body to it than the first run.
Yep,
I
exactly.
like that, but without being like stouty or anything like that.
Right, and the nose is great. You know,
Sometimes you'll have a double IPA and it'll be borderline syrupy,
Right.
even if the flavor is good, but this is just perfect.
yeah,
Heck yeah. That's great.
that's a great beer. Okay, now the dark one.
So good. I love, some people call it black IPAs, but
Black IPA is not really roasty, and it shouldn't be. It should be sort of black in color, bitter, hoppy, but CDA is bringing a little bit of extra roast.
I like the roast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it balances it out a little bit. So over here, this is our Pilsner. Now, this is not actually on draft.
This is not quite ready yet.
Not quite ready, but I wanted
Yeah.
you to have a taste of it because I've been drinking it for a few days and I think it's good enough to drink. Yeah. But again, you look at the color, hazy. It's got a nice aroma on it. We use 2 hops in this. Whole melon, which is a German hop.
I like that hop.
We use all German malts as well, and a German yeast that we get from an imperial yeast here in Oregon. But we dry hop it as much as our first run with Cashmere.
Oh yeah, you get that. This kind of Pilsner I like. I like a hoppy Pilsner. I know it's not to style or whatever,
Exactly.
but it's delicious. So.
Yeah, we called it an unfiltered, hop-forward Pilsner.
So how do you think it'll change over the next few days or week until you're ready to?
I think the biggest thing that will happen is it will clarify just a little bit. As that yeast sort of flocculates out, falls to the bottom, the beer will clarify, but also the yeast and hops will sort of blend just a little bit more. The yeast is not quite as prominent enough as they'd like it to be, so we just want that to balance out just a little bit more, and then I think it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good as is, but I can see where it's going to, and I'm like, that might be good as well.
Well, on Monday, I'm going to tell him Kenny said it's good to go.
Yeah, fire it up.
Fire it up. Next on the list here is our Larry's Pale. Our electrician and our general contractor, they were best friends. They always called each other Larry, even though their names are Steve and Paul. Everybody was Larry. On Fridays, after we'd be done working, we would go out and have a few beers. And they're like, you gotta make a pale ale. Like, you can't just make IPAs, you gotta make beers for us. And so that's how Larry's Pale Ale.
Oh, yeah, it's hoppy, a little sweet. There's like some Crystal 80 in there or something.
No, actually, no Crystal 80. I found a very unique grain called melanoidin. You get a lot of flavor, but you also get a little bit of color out of it. And I think that's one of the reasons it's as dark as it is.
Delicious pale.
So last but not least, this is our kettle sour. We make our own lacto strain grain from Germany. We mash the beer, bring it into the kettle, pitch the lacto, allow the lacto to sour the beer, then we fire the boil up, kill all the lacto, send it through the brewery as you normally would, and that's how our kettle sour is born. We also dry hop the heck out of this one with Mosaic.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I like that. That's great. That everything stands out, the maltiness, the sourness,
Yeah.
and the little hoppiness in the end.
Yeah, and we like doing the lacto ourselves. I was actually taught that process by a great brewer out of Oklahoma, and he showed me how he did it, and I followed suit. But we do it here in Bend, and I think the idea is you get kind of your own culture, you get your own flavor you know, and we really love it. That's one of the more fun beers to make right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for pouring all these beers, taking us
no
around,
worries,
telling us your
man.
stories. It's great to be in Bend.
You know it. It really is. You are here at the perfect time. Good luck on all your travels, and when you do come around to Bend again, come see us.
I definitely will. This will be stop number 1.
Awesome.
Cool, thanks man.
dude. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Nick just bailed on me. We had to get a new microphone from Best Buy, and he just kind of took off. I was telling him there's a better way to go, and he literally just walked away. We're trying to go up to Yakima tomorrow to film with what also seems like a badass brewery. So stoked. I might go grab a beer. We got plenty of daylight left, and I'll either meet up with Nick or he'll have some footage of his own. I'm about to walk up on the highway and get a ride, and Nick, who just walked away from me, he's still not at Best Buy. I feel bad for Nick, but I don't know what's gonna happen today. It's gonna be actually pretty interesting. One little wrinkle of the trip. Either I'll catch up to him, get him a ride, or he'll get his own ride. Hitched a quick ride, easy up to Best Buy. Nick is nearby somewhere, but he's not responding to my text messages, so I'm just gonna wait around and hear from him and either camp nearby or keep hitching. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Hitching on my own. I'm doing this by myself because that's what I am right now. Where I'm outside Biggs Junction in Oregon. Just spent the night by myself, stealth camping just north or south of here. But yeah, I think I might be at a breaking point here now.
So I lost track of Nick yesterday. Tried to rendezvous with him the north side of Bend, but he disappeared on me.
Kenny left me in Bend by myself as he made his way to Yakima. He abandoned me.
So I don't know if he's already hitching towards the brewery, so that's what I'm doing. It's beautiful out
And
here.
after the constant disagreements and the occasional insult and the incessant drinking,
Go drink some beer.
I think I might be at my breaking point here.
Couple good rides this morning, just hopped out in Biggs Junction.
Like I said, I'm outside Biggs Junction in Oregon, just short of the Washington border. And I got stuff to think about, whether or not I can continue on this. So